1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Out there in Banjo land, Mike Heading here, coming to you today with the old song, Make Me a Pallet on Your Floor in the Key of C. We're going to do something a little bit different for this lesson. We're not going to do traditional Scruggs style. We're going to pay homage to some of my favorite versions of this song, mainly Mississippi John Hurt, or if you've heard of Chet Atkins, Merle Travis, Tommy Emmanuel. They do this really cool technique playing fingerstyle where you do the alternate bass, which kind of becomes your groove. And then we're going to add melody notes with our index and middle finger. Again, if you've heard of Mississippi John Hurt or Chet Atkins, you might be familiar with this style. So that's what we're going to do for this lesson. I've worked up 2 solos, again, to kind of get your right hand doing something a little bit different for this lesson. But I'll break down both solos note for note just as I played at the beginning, show you all my tips, and then we'll do some backup. Again, how you can take that style and move it all over the neck to some movable chord shapes. All right, enough talking. Let's jump into how to play this country blues style on the banjo. Here we go. Alright, so before we get into this solo, let's just break down the technique that we're going to use for this song. We're just in standard G tuning, but we're going to be playing in the key of C. And this technique is inspired by people like Mississippi John Hurt, Chet Atkins, Merle Travis. It's a thumb-driven finger style where our thumb is going to play on every single beat. So let's just practice that first, because I think getting this down is fundamental to understanding the style. So let's just break down the chords real quick. So we have, even though we're in the key of C, we're going to start on the 4 chord, in this case F. So we have F for 2 measures. I'm just going to strum them to start. We have F for 2 measures, and then C for 2 measures. Okay, and then F for 2 measures again. C for 2 measures. And then E or E7, I just move my index finger up. I'm just gonna play E. Or you can take your ring finger off if you want E7, either way. So we have E, and then F for 2 measures each, and then C for 1 measure, G for 1 measure, and then C for 2. And then we'll be back to F again, okay? So what we're going to practice to start, because I think it'll help you understand the style if you can get your thumb on autopilot, then your other 2 fingers are going to play like the melody parts. And that's a big part of this style, is your thumb is pretty much always kind of going back and forth between the strings. Since we're not tuned exactly like the guitar, we can't do it exactly like they do it, but we're going to imply that. So what I want you to start with is start with your thumb on the 4th string, and then go to the 3rd string with your F down. And I'm going to do every beat. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And that might feel kind of weird at first if you're used to playing more Scruggs style, where you're not probably using your thumb that much. But this is really essential to the style, is getting that thumb on autopilot so you can worry about your other fingers. So let's just practice that a few times. So we're going. And then we're going to go back to C, and we're going to play the same 2 strings. Again, this is not exactly how you would do it on guitar, but it's similar. So we're going to go. Then we're going back to F. Again, do it slow if you need to. C. And then we have E, so just move your index finger up, play the same 2 strings. So quick move your hand. And then we have C. And then G. We're going to do something just a little different here, just kind of break the rule for a second. We're going to do open 3rd string, and then 5th string, and then 3rd string, and then 1st string with your middle finger. That's the one spot we're going to break the rule. So you have C. You just land back there. Okay, so let's just kind of practice that, because I think, again, if you can get that down, it's really going to help you worry about what else is going on. So we have C, F, C, E, F, C, G, C. Okay, so there's a couple spots in the solo where we're going to stop that just for a second, again, to kind of give it a little rest, but it's really good practice to be able to get that on autopilot. With this style, I think of the thumb as its own independent entity that's kind of keeping that groove going, and then my other two fingers are kind of playing the melody and then playing off the melody. So one thing we can practice once we get that down is playing like on the pinch or on the thumb or off the thumb. So something like this, where we could do, let's just add one finger. So again, we'll just kind of show you how this style works. So let's do like thumb and then pinch, but also pinch the second string. So that would be on the thumb, right? So where we're lining that pinch up with the thumb. The other way you can do it is off beat like this, kind of more like almost a scrug style. Like that. You could also pinch at the beginning. Or off the beat, right? You can. But notice how my thumb is just doing that same thing every time. That's really important, right? Whether I'm playing on the beat with my other fingers or off the beat, my thumb is just doing that same pattern the whole time. That's why it's good to practice that first. Okay, let's jump into the solo. Okay, so like I said, that's the technique we're going to use. So we're starting kind of thinking in your C chord here. And again, this style is used where we're thinking out a chord shape. So we're going to use our pinky to start this, even though it might feel a little bit weird. But again, we're thinking out of this shape. And we're using our free finger to grab other melody notes. That's a big part of the style. So we're going to play on the off beat of beat 1. We're going to count 1, and then we're going to play the 3rd fret and then slide it up to the 4th fret, and then back down. So the count is 1 and then 3, 4. So you have 1 and 3, 4, 1 and 2, 3, 4, 1. And if you didn't like that, you could also play them all on the downbeats. 1, 2, 3, 4. But again, it just gives it a little flavor to play that 1 a little bit early. 1, like that. So that's what I'm doing. And again, the other reason I'm doing that is now I'm freed up to go right into my F chord. I'm going to pinch. So I'm pinching strings 4 and 2 while having that F down. I'm going to probably even just leave my pinky off for the meantime. So I'm going to go. And what I'm doing there is I'm grabbing my pinky on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string to grab more melody notes. So I'm going pinch at the same time. Put your pinky down on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string, pinch at the same time. And then take your pinky off and play that note. So you have. And then land your thumb again, and then play them off the beat. So you have. Remember, your thumb is just doing this. And you're adding those pinches around it. It's a little hard to loop it, but you can play without looping it. And then second measure is kind of a little response. Pinch, and then play them at the same time, pinky down on the 3rd fret 2nd string, take it off, and then land. So you have. If you're ever not getting it, go back to just your thumb and get that more on autopilot. So let's put those two together. We have. Slower, sorry. Let's do it even slow. So we have 1. Back to C, and we're just going to kind of do like a little fill. That's measure 4. Again, I keep reiterating, but it's really important. Just remember, your thumb is doing this. And then we're pinching on the beat and then playing off the beat. So you get that cool kind of rhythm. But you still want to hear your thumb kind of going back and forth. Your thumb's the timekeeper. Okay, so we play that. And then we're going to pinch. And then immediately put your pinky down and play the intro lick again. So you have... So measure 5 is 1 and 3, 4. And then we play the same lick. And then the same. So you could really loop like the first 5 measures and you'd have like a majority of the first part of the song down. So you have... So we play that twice. Same thing again. This is measures 6 through 9. Back to C. And then we don't do the pickup again here. We just fill out this with another same as measure 8. We just playing this again.